Oh, there you go.
Okay, there we go. I'm assuming everyone can hear me now. What I was saying is that we're your different casters for this match with Ball State and University of Miami, Ohio. I'm Quinn, and I'll be joined by Blade from the University of Oklahoma, and we're just super glad to be here. So let's just get into the match. So what do you got, Noah? What do you think?
Man, I don't know. Like, either of these teams could pull out anything. I'm expecting a brawl, especially on the first point, but I don't know what could happen.
I've definitely seen a lot of ball and a lot of brawl, either the Ram or the Ryan variant, but definitely a lot of ball as well.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to see ball run ball. But to put some credit on some of these teams, I haven't personally played against Ball State, but we have. We've played against University of Miami, Ohio. That is a pretty good team. They definitely know what they're doing, and I'm excited to see what they're going to bring this time around. I don't exactly know what comp they're running. We were too busy playing matches.
Yeah.
But I imagine it's going to be one of those three with either the Ball, the Ram, or the Ryan.
So we've seen a bit of Diva as well.
Right.
Look at the bracket.
Yeah, looking at the bracket, let's see. Who did they win against? Ball State. Well, they won against the Ohio State team and Northeast. Oh, right. The Northeastern team wasn't able to make it due to some travel difficulties. That's unfortunate. That team was also really good. That would have definitely proven Miami, Ohio, to see if they were like really up to snuff. But I think that they'll have a good showing in a good bracket. I'm gonna go ahead and predict that Miami, Ohio is gonna win.
You say Miami, Ohio?
Yeah,
Okay. I think I'll go with Ball State.
Ball State.
I think so. I think they'll pull through.
I mean, we've played against Miami, Ohio. Like I said, they definitely looked really good when we played against them. They I forget what they played, but I remember it was a really tough loss for us. So definitely excited to see what they come out with.
For sure, for sure. I think we are almost getting started in the match. We're waiting for a few more players. I don't know what map we're starting off on, though.
I'm assuming we're starting Lijiang. It's Oasis.
Okay, so we start with Oasis. Oasis is a very interesting map because a lot of comps can work. A lot of dive comps are usually run on Oasis.
Right, but then you get on the indoor, and I think a lot of teams brawls come out. So I think to win this map, you're gonna have to be you're gonna have to know everything.
You have to definitely know when to play what.
Right, and I think the most important thing though, I agree with you, is the dive. Whichever dive that they do end up going with, our team, we played the Doomfist dive. Like I said, we've seen a lot of the ball dives and even
a lot of Diva as well.
Right, Diva and Winston.
Yeah.
I think all of those are actually extremely viable. So it's gonna determine if they play to the strengths with the whole comp.
And I think the really deciding factor is the supports, because the supports are usually either on a BAP or on a Zen or on a Curie. It's usually a lot of Ana recently, especially with the dive comps.
Right.
A lot of teams are also running the Lucio Curie as well.
I do think Ana is the best pick there. However, it's really hard. Your Ana player has to be extremely disciplined, and your team has to be well coordinated to know when to come back to save her. And sometimes you do just have to let her die and trade your backlines.
So you use that. Ana is a really good bait character,
right?
Especially for the dives.
That too. You need to give some of these super hyper dive comps. It's hard for anyone to pin anything down, and so you're just rotating around forever, and so you're just trading. And so having that bait character allows you to center the comp and center the engagements.
Yeah, especially with the antes. The antes is very crucial, especially when teams are running that Curie, because then they're just anteed for much longer.
Yeah, super. I mean, wait a minute. So this is actually going to be Miami, Ohio's first match. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So we actually have no idea what they're going to play.
And so they could pull anything out. They
could
pull Roadhog out. No one knows.
I think if we can guarantee anything, it's not going to be that Roadhog is going to see zero play time.
Roadhog could be played. I'm just saying. He's a good pick character.
Yeah?
You can get a lot of picks with the hook. You never know.
Right, so looking in some of these rosters.
So I think we're almost ready to start the match. We don't know which point on Oasis is first, but depending on it, it could be. I think it's more brawl heavy for most of Oasis, actually.
I was saying it's mostly dive. You just said earlier that it was mostly.
I know, yeah, but dive is good for. But I think you can play brawl on 2 of them and be fine.
I think yeah. The city center is the one that you are gonna have to play dive.
Yes.
But gardens, I think you could do either, and then library you have to do brawl. I think, unless of course you could just be the GOAT.
Yeah.
Which both these teams are very good, and they might just subvert expectations altogether. Looks like we're finally getting in, and it is library, the first brawl map, like we said.
So this map is very crucial, especially with the Mei, because of how many choke points you can cut off with it.
Right. Yeah. Mei is really good on this point, getting cut off to the point and to the mini room as well. They're still selecting their characters. We'll see right now. In just one moment. Yep.
Okay, looks like Okay, Ball State's going with Orion, while University of Ohio, Miami is going to go Rom. I think Rom is better in the long run than the Ryan because of how much damage you can burst through the shield.
Yes, and Ball State is choosing to run a BAP while Miami chooses to run a Ana. It'll be interesting to see those two characters go up against each other. The BAP definitely provides a little more stability to the whole comp overall, but Ana is definitely good with the nade, and the sleep dart is going to be able to provide some offensive utility to really shut down some of these pushes. So Ball State taking point here. Cut off Reinhardt, but he's going to be able to live it with the lamp. But Boots back in. They were able to actually live it. Second wall up, but traded tanks.
May's also fallen for Ball State.
Miami, Ohio up 1 currently. I would assume they'd be able to take this.
Yeah, I don't think Miami is going to be taking the first fight. Like I said, the ROM is just able to do so much more damage against his Reinhardt.
Yeah, even though he died early, he was able to pummel through the shield and get a lot of damage, like you said, get a lot of those resources out. We are setting up for the next fight.
It's going to be very difficult for Ball State to get onto this point.
Yeah, they're trying a different rotate up to the high ground. Baiting out the wall. Now they're going to go in for the engage and onto this Mei. She's cut off completely from her team.
Anti already went out.
Yeah, Kabunga's able to get a first pick on Cass. Even with window down, he's able to get 2 now.
Nano's units being committed, and they're
Nano Ram.
The Annihilation.
Yeah, this might be a little bit of an over ult, but
a little bit, but they still secure the fight win. And the only ult that Ball State used in that fight was Window, and they'll be having, I think, a bit of an ult advantage going into this fight. They do have to watch out for the Blizzard though. Blizzard is very much a team-winning or fight-winning ult by itself.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna see the consequences of those ults being used this fight, but later down in this round, we're definitely gonna see it. But Jaybird gets cut off early.
Pick first. They still commit the mail.
Oh, massive freeze!
It's a huge freeze. I don't know. They committed the castle as well. Let's just secure the kills. They win the fight with the mail. That mail was massive, and it killed. I think it froze almost every single player.
Pretty much everybody. That was an excellent usage of the mail, like you said. Even with Jaybird down, being able to cut off the entire team. Great play by Jaybird. Or Bonesaw, excuse me.
I said now Miami doesn't have any ults. They're coming up on support ults, but that's it. And Ball State has almost everything. Yeah,
Ball State flipping the map with these 3 ultimates. Like we said, there's the Shatter.
Comes out, it gets down to Mei. Mei's also taken down. B is committed.
As well as Castle to secure the Ana.
This is still a very tournable fight for Miami.
Yeah, Ryan goes down. This is Miami. Miami is looking at a small advantage here right now. Oh, but with Jaybird and Kabunga down, yeah, that's gonna be over for them.
Their cast picks off the rest of the remaining players.
All right, so Ball State has this 99-0 right now, or 3%.
Ball State switched to ROM.
Yeah, like we said, I think the Ram is just able to get a little more done. Also, a little more of an impactful ult, so I think that's a good switch.
But the Ball State's running Hanzo instead of the Mei, so they have a bit more damage and poke opportunities than Miami does.
All right, pushing into this fight. I think Ball State has a small ult advantage, but
Miami has a Nano.
Oh, there's the Nano.
That's a Jaybird does the dragons, but they cast those big rocks from.
Let's see if Kabunga is able to. Oh, there he goes. Able to get his ult.
Comes out. They're clearing point. Point's flipped.
Are they able to get a touch?
Has to get back on. Nice. Okay.
Ball State touching the Lucio, but the Ram needs to come back to point. Ram low, Ram cut, followed by May, chased into spawn.
Oh, doesn't get the pick.
Wow, Ball State is able to come back from the very end to secure back the point.
Ball State, going to this next fight, only has 2 ults. They still have the ult advantage, like we said. Like the over ult commit is just very it's hurting them a lot. It's hurting Miami a lot right now.
I completely agree. Ball State's gonna be coming in this with 2 ults.
Miami does have the blizzard again. If Bonesaw can get another big blizzard like he did last fight with it, then
oh, absolutely, yeah.
It could be the map.
It would be game over.
It could be the point.
Yeah, May ult is definitely the strongest ult to see here. So we'll wait and see how he uses it. Oh, he used it on the high ground, able to get Lamp out.
It gets the BAP.
Gets the BAP on high ground. And the Lucio low. And
Rom gets traded on point.
Rom gets traded on point.
I think Miami win this fight, especially after those last picks are coming in.
The castle comes through, but it's completely walled off and denied by Bonesaw. And that was a very clean performance by Miami University of Ohio.
Yeah, ball's gonna try to touch,
but
it gets
completely
off.
Denied. That was some great play by Miami.
Yeah, especially with the May. I think the May is the really turning point of all of this because they're just able to block off so many different sight lines so the Cass and the Hanzo can't just get free damage onto the ROMs, and the Miami's ROM is just living so much more with the Ana.
Right, and I also think that the May is getting some insane value. Not only the walls, but like we said, that huge snowball or blizzard, excuse me, that was earlier this game. Absolutely massive. Just won the fight by itself.
Now we go into the next point. This is definitely a more dive-heavy map, but it looks like Miami is going to be sticking with the brawl.
Right. While Ball State is going to.
Oh, JQ.
A JQ comp. This might be the first.
I like this.
This will be interesting to see. Oh, just kidding. They just did the shout. Wow, they're baiting us right here. I can't believe it.
Man, I really wanted to see that.
They're both matching on the Ana Lucio though. That'll be interesting to see how the nades get traded out.
The brawl takes the high ground. Oh my! Ball State's Lucio already balls.
This is not looking good. Ball State is just gonna have to retreat and regroup.
So they're gonna have to give the point.
Oh, they might even catch out this Tracer.
Tracer does go down.
Wow, that is just not good for Ball State.
So they definitely have to just give the point for the first fight. I say it's going to be really hard for Ball State to get on an engaged target because as soon as they dive anything, Rom is just going to pop Nemesis and just beat anything that gets close to him.
Especially if Miami, Ohio is going to keep getting these opening picks like this, it is going to be impossible to play this divey more first comp.
The Sojourn almost picks off the Ana.
Right. Winston comes in on the May.
Wall does. Oh,
and that's 2 picks for Ball State.
Oh, no, Rom is not going to get the Sojourn. They just need to fall point now as long as they can.
Right, that's all they can do.
He does get the Sojourn actually.
Bunga gets the pick on the Sojourn just to trade out. But this will be Ball State's point.
Ball State will, they will definitely do this. Ball State's coming up on almost every ult.
Right, 37 to 4% right now.
Miami's really behind on ults, I think. The May and the ROM are just not even close to ults, and Ball State almost has every single ult.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what this Primal is going to be able to do, I think, as well as the Sojourn.
I think the main deciding factor is who gets more value Nano.
You know what? I agree.
Bonesaw already picks off Spencer, though. This is a really good opening for Miami.
And Nano Winston comes through, is going to be able to taser all through that point. And in Primals is going to absolutely tear through Miami University, Ohio.
Like I said, the Nano is just too strong.
Yeah, Nano was incredible there, followed up by the Primal.
Miami also used Nano, but I don't even know who they used it on.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a wasted ult.
But luckily they only used 1 ult compared to Ball State's 2, so they will have a bit of an ult advantage, and they have the beat advantage as well.
Yeah, being able to have beat versus building beat is a big difference in when you're actually in the game. So whichever team uses beat more optimally is definitely going to win this fight.
This pull Spencer's looking for it. Spencer picks off Shocker though.
Shocker
and Spencer just goes. Oh, and they committed the May and Annihilation.
Oh, that is not good. Both of those are huge win con ultimates for this composition, and being down both of those with 72% on the board.
Looks like they're making a swap.
It's gonna be they might as well.
They have to, yeah.
They might as well swap to a different composition.
They're switching to
matching them on the Winston, yeah.
Now they have Cass Reapers. They have a lot more damage, but they just have to look out for the dive hits. They're playing into the dives. They want Ball State to dive them.
Miami, Ohio jumping in, but there's a bad bubble.
Oh,
and Jaybird goes down mid-beat.
But they do pick off the Sojourn. Ball State does have a beat coming out. Is cut out, I think, a little. He's looking for a nano target, I think.
Skirtle goes down.
Nano's used on the Tracer. Tracer's going absolutely wild on the point.
This is looking like Ball State's win, but if they need to focus a target to actually win this out. If they're going to keep trading, Miami, Ohio will take it. Miami, Ohio getting a second pick now. It's still even, very close. Oh, and then
Ball State still bring it back though.
Ball State is able to secure it, and even from here we hear shouts of victory from Ball State as they're just competing in the other room. So good for them. They're gonna take this to the last map onto City Center, correct?
Yes. This is another very dive heavy map. So I think this is playing the strengths of Ball State because I think they seem a lot more comfortable on the dive than Miami does.
Right, and it looks like the difference here is going to be the Ana versus the Kiriko. The Ana is going to be able to pump more numbers and also has that more offensive nade and sleep dart to make plays. But the Kiriko is going to have way more survivability. So I'm interested to see how these backlines are going to trade out, and I think it's going to be the focus on who's going to win this round.
Ball State is running off with Zen Ana instead of Lucio. So they're going for that full damage dive, just looking to blow up anything that they can.
Going for the counter dive strat.
Yeah, anything that's discorded.
Yeah, interestingly though, they also have a Tracer, so being able to even get a little more offensive angles. I would assume they would run the Reaper, but they're running the Tracer. We'll see how that comes on later here.
So Reaper does fall.
Oh my gosh, Bones got cut early.
This is looking very dicey for Miami.
Ball State is going to be able to basically get a free dive here. Bell comes out, but Kabunga goes down.
So it looks like Ball State is
You know, they had the man advantage going into it, but the abilities they landed on Ball State were just too lethal.
Way too lethal. Like I said, the Zen Ana backline is just too much damage.
It's absolutely nuts. But as both of us as tank players, we know that the Discord is absolutely fatal.
It is, and it looks like Miami's gonna be switching to Sombra instead of the Reaper.
Personally, here at OU, we like Sombra a little bit. We think she's one of the best DPS, so we'll see if that helps them. Kabunga might almost get picked out earlier.
Kabunga's probably really low.
Lost a lot of health, yeah.
So is Tracer. Tracer
coming in with the dive, they hack the Zen.
They can't get it off though.
Yeah,
it's just too much.
And Nano comes out of the Zen. Yeah.
They're just keeping the Zen alive,
and then Jaybird goes down. Yeah. Jaybird a little too deep on that dive.
This is looking like another win for Ball State, and Ball State, all they had to do was commit the Nano.
Yep, and some good play by the Zen as well.
Yeah, being able to live that is very key to winning these trades.
Right, that that Nano even was able to get Zen closer to his trans as we approach the next fight. I'm interested to see how this EMP comes in later. EMP is definitely one of the best ults in the game still. And it's going to completely get negated by trans. So let's see if he's able to hold on to it for that game-winning
Rush is used. Zen is falling very low. They just cannot finish him off.
Wow, that is some great discipline by their Zen player, waiting to the very last moment to use that trans.
Primal does force it though, and Ana does get stuck. She does fall.
Big stick, but they trade flex supports.
EMP only finds one target though.
Is that going to be enough value for them to win this?
Miami, this is still very winnable for Ball State. Ball State are just looking to regroup back point. Looks like Tracers are dueling it out. She has a Discord on her, so she will fall though. Ball Solid does fall. This is coming to last fight territory.
Yeah, this is here at the end.
Oh,
Miami, Ohio is going to have the beat just a touch. But are they going to be able to capitalize on anything without their Sombra? Looks like the Monkey's going in on the Zen, able to finally get that pick on the Zen. I think that's the first time he's died this round. Jaybird goes down again. That's really unfortunate, but Kabunga should be able to hold this.
I say Ball State could be. They're doing a quick regroup. They have the Nano. This is a very winnable fight right now.
Yeah, Miami, Ohio with 0 ultimates. Nano plus Pulse Bomb is easily going to win this out for them if they play it correctly.
They definitely have way more of an ult advantage coming into this fight. And they have all the time they need. to decide on which fight they want to take with
and
this Nana.
And with it at 99%, they're forcing them onto point. Not an exactly ideal position for a dive team, but here they come in.
They hit the quick dive while Ball State's looking for some kind of rotation, and both supports do fall.
Yeah, Miami, Ohio was able to get a quick rotate there. Like I said, they were stuck on point, but if you go quickly enough, you can make a rotate around and make an opening for yourself. Excellent play by Miami, Ohio, as they're able to build their own pulse bomb and closer to the Curie rush. Also, we forgot to mention that the Ball State, that they used their Nano last fight. I don't know where it got their value, but
this is looking like it can be a really good hold.
Pulse bomb going in, able to find the Zen and the
Sojourn does fall as well.
The Sojourn.
Anna does fall, but they do trade the Winston and the Curie for Ball State.
Yeah, great primal by their Manway.
Jaybird falls off the map because of the Manway's jump.
Wow,
Ball State could they have the picks. They can just quick regroup and get on the point.
Bonesaw's going to try to hold this for as long as possible. Getting forced out, Ball State is going to start the capture progress. Winston comes back in, and Sombra Hat comes through.
No one falls yet, though. This is about to be a full fight. Like, there goes Primal in the back line.
Primal coming in. The fate of this match is going to be determined by what value this Primal gets. Curie Rush also comes through onto point.
Miami is looking to just try to get anything done with this rush out. They do find the Zen. EMP comes out.
Massive EMP forces the Tracer out so that she can't use her pulse bomb.
This is looking like Miami's gonna win this fight with the ult advantage,
as well as the point advantage.
Yeah, Ball State does not look like they can get back on point. Lucio does try to touch, he just will fall though.
And that's going to be game for Miami University of Ohio. Extremely close match, down to the last second. Excellent plays all around.
Very. I think the biggest factor was just Ball State was not able to, like, they were denying the hits and the Zen lived for so long for the beginning, and then they started finally finding out how to actually dive.
Here's that May freeze that was earlier. Absolutely massive. Single-handedly won the match. Single-handedly won the round, excuse me.
It's map 1. Now is the deciding factor of what do they pick for the next map. Because this could be the deciding factor. Because, I mean, Ball State really were trying to dive harder than Miami were. And Miami is looking a lot more strong on the brawl.
Right. I think even then, both teams still proved that they could play either the more brawly style or the dive style. I think what it's going to come down to is the choices they make with their backlines.
Yeah, the backlines were very key in those fights.
Right. The Zen Ana backline did show some success in the earlier parts of that last round, but I think the Curie Lucio backline was able to increase the offensive power of their comp just a little more, and with more coordinated hits like we saw in the later half of that round, it's not enough time for the Zen to get any value.
And say they're just diving too quick. Zen and Ana can't get out. They can't rotate out because they're just hitting it so fast, especially with the Sombra.
That's going to be the key for Miami, Ohio's success is those quick dives. We'll see what map they pick here in just a moment.
And so, like I said, the maps go into a lot. Like, if some team has a set play on a certain map, like, that could change a lot of things.
Right, and what's very unique about this tournament is that there's only 4 maps that we can pick in the second round. We have Parisio, we have Shambali Monastery.
And it looks like they will be going with Parisio.
Right, so going for a more dive style. However, on this first point defense, you can get away with a Zen and a more pokey style. It is actually really dominant on the first point defense.
Yeah, it's very difficult to actually get into this attack because of how many high grounds and how far away you can play away with these high grounds in the back for defense. It's going to be very difficult for either team for attack to just find something to hit.
Right, but I would assume that both these teams are going to go for a more divey play style. With all the high grounds, you're going to need some mobility.
But like you said, you can go for the more pokey style with a Sigma and play the high grounds and just try to live any kind of dive they try to get off. And so it just depends on what team is more comfortable with what.
Right, our team has been able to full hold with that sort of SIG strategy. just with these impressive high grounds, getting your hit scan player to just do absolutely everything, as well as Zen. There's just so much space for them to come through. Got some people coming in.
I'd say definitely. It could mean a lot for both these teams.
Right, so Miami's going to start on the defense. So we'll have to see what they do pick here shortly.
I'd say I think the defense plays a little bit of a weakness because attack gets to pick what and where, basically. They pick what they do and where they do it.
Right, so they're going to have to play on the defense's terms.
So I think we're getting ready to get into the map.
Right. Just to clarify, Miami was the one with the more aggressive divey playstyle, while Ball State was the more slower counter dive playstyle. So putting Ball State in a sort of awkward position here at the start in terms of playstyle overall. But so we're going to have to see a more offensive playstyle from Ball State if they're going to cap this first point.
So they definitely have to more commit towards the dives and less towards the picks afterwards.
Right. I'm interested to see what they'll do. Like we said, we've seen a lot of ball getting played. The ball on ball. I don't know if they have a ball player, but I think I think Ball or Winston would both be work very well here on offense.
Say if the Sombra or the Tracer become too much of a problem, you can always pick up the Diva. Diva defense matrix and just Diva spam is very strong against both those targets.
Right, going in here, we see the first point. A lot of aggressive defending high grounds. Just so much for the defenders to just rotate around and keep the attackers guessing where they're going to go next. I think if you're going to play that more pokey style, it does come down to your rotations on those high grounds, so where you go next and what you do. But looking at this, we're starting with two dive comps, a Diva and a Winston comp.
It looks like Miami will be opting towards the cast for the defense just to get any kind of damage and lasting, especially with the sticky nade, that can be a very good pick deciding.
Right, and deterrent for those dives. While Ball State is going to keep running the Ana Zen backline. Like we said that maybe they need a little more aggression when coming into the match chat banter. But like we said, the Ball State is going to need a little more aggression, we think. But maybe these big support cooldowns and big support impact is going to come and win this for them. I think it's all going to come down to their two support players to see if they really win this one throughout.
Like I said, the Diva is very key in this as well. Diva does a lot against the Winston. There's a lot of burst damage.
Yeah, I also think Diva's going to help in their more counter-divey playstyle. So I think that's a greater pick so that they can re-engage back with the Diva as well as just deny more with the defense matrix.
For sure. Both teams are just staging this high ground, just trying to look for anything.
And Bonesaw down.
Spencer does find the first pick on Bonesaw. This is a very good attack already.
Yeah, first pick opening up, but Ball State chooses to play a little more passively while Diva goes in and gets another pick on Skirtle.
He does get the cast. And Winston is anti as well.
And
just already Ball State getting the first point.
Miami, Ohio goes down completely.
Off the first fight, that Ana positioning with an nade just was too much, and the Diva burst just finished him off.
I think, like we said earlier, Miami, Ohio played a little slower there, and they didn't get a full dive, even that whole fight, and therefore the Zen and the Ana and their whole more pokey play style was able to get the value before the fight even broke out, like I said.
Looking at the ults, Diva and Nano are hitting. Ball State's Ana is so far ahead on Nano. This could be very good for
as
Ball
well
State.
As their Diva, just incredibly ahead as they stage around this second point on the hillside.
Miami does opt towards the mirror instead of staying the Winston, and they also switch to Soj instead of Cast.
Right, the difference here being the Zen pick. I think Ball State, if they can deter Miami, Ohio from having a full engage.
Used and Diva's going in already though.
Yeah, Diva's going really deep pretty much by herself.
She gets the Curie though. This is really big, and she has the ult for the remake if she needs it. She will be opting towards using the ult. Gets the remake out, does live it, and gets the enemy mech in return. Ana also does drop. Ball State is really just running over Miami right now.
Yeah, fantastic play by Ball State. See, like I said, they are running a more defensive play style. As long as they keep the enemy team off their backline, they're going to see a lot of value. We saw Moundway just ravage the Miami Ohio's backline. getting them off from even able to engage on them.
So now Ball State have to live this Nano. Nano already gets his in though, him being the squishiest target for them.
Right, and arguably one of their win conditions.
Oh,
but Shocker also goes down.
Pulse does come out and gets the first pick on Shocker.
A Diva Bomb comes through.
This is still very dicey for both teams.
But
Overclock does come out to secure this defense, I think, though.
Right, yeah.
Ball, yep, and they will be getting defense off.
This is going to be a secured round, secured fight win for Miami, Ohio. They were able to take the tempo into their own hands.
So they definitely needed something to stop this Ball State tempo because they were just starting to run all over.
Right. So we're just going to have Ball State to win this. They're going to have to deter them from diving their backline. They just instantly, that fight, they instantly dove the Zenyatta and were able to kill him instantly. So they have to deter that engagement for a little longer for them to get the value out of the Zen.
Ball State does have the ult advantage though going into this fight. All Miami has is right now is the Kitsune, but they are coming up on Pulse as well. Hopefully Bonesaw can get some kind of pick of it.
Right, just still poking around. This is where the Zen is going to get a lot of value. If he's just able to keep poking around like this. Trans and Nano go out, as well as Rush.
Everyone's pressing Q. The Sojourn is alone on point though. She does fall. Ball State is just moving the point.
Monway might be able to cap, as well as another pick on the Sojourn. Diva back down as well. This will be a secured point for Ball State. You know, oh, and a question mark from Monway. A little bit of toxicity. That's what I like to see.
No, everything's all right with a little bit of banter.
Right. So Ball State is definitely getting a lot of value out of this Zen Ana backline.
They still have the ult advantage coming into this fight, and Miami was opting to switch back to the Kiri, and they thought the Ana would work, but Kiri is just going to have to go with him.
So University of Ohio, oh my gosh, Ball State is going in super deep with their Diva.
Monway is just alone, trying to get anything off the back line. The remake does have to be forced though with the ult. Jaber and Cabinet both fall. Kabunga both fall.
You know, that's the second time that Diva has just gone incredibly deep into their backline and just takes so much attention that the frontline battle is just won by default. Like, it's just extremely impressive. Miami, Ohio was the one that used ults that fight. But still, Ball State won. So I think the playstyle Monway has of just going absolutely deep and using all of his resources to deny the heals and other cooldowns is just really doing wonders for them.
This is going to be a very good fight for Ball State, I think, because the Nano already comes out on the Diva. Diva Mech is really low for Miami. Rush is being forced to try to keep the Diva up.
But Jaybird dies again.
Yeah, and the Pulse and the Overclock are both committed, both finding picks. And it looks like Ball State are going to win this fight as well.
Absolutely incredible showing by Ball State.
Overclock was also committed at the end of that fight by Skirtle, and he didn't find anything.
Monway with more typing. This is wow. This is a different level. And you know what? I have to give it to him. Monway is getting some excellent dives here. You know, like, we are a little surprised with how deep he's going and how much it looks like, frankly, feeding. Yeah. But
just, man, he's just getting so much attention off of Ball State's front line that it's just working so well against Miami.
Right. Monway sometimes taking 2 or 3 people away from the fight. And living, most importantly, is they just able to make the frontline fight a 4v2 or a 4v3. And of course, they just were able to take that win and target focus and close it out.
Yeah, for sure. And this is going to look very interesting for what Ball State is going to play for the defense, though, because they could still run the Diva and just keep doing what they're doing.
Right.
It's a little bit harder for Monway to do the full in and also be able to live, especially on the defense side.
Right. But fortunately for Ball State, it is going to be way more beneficial for their backline. The Zen Ana, they can just play so far away, and it takes absolutely ages for the attackers to get anywhere close. Skirtle coming out for a Widow. I'm assuming that's just for the spawn shot. I doubt it's going to get much value. Like we said, Ball State is probably going to be playing much further back.
Just say with Ball State's on his end, they just have so much high ground and they can play so much space between balls like Miami that they just don't have to like force any engages. They're just playing to live and get the Nano out and hope that the DPS can get a pick. This is going to be very interesting though coming in.
Doors open up and they're actually holding much closer. But as long as they can get away and rotate out, then the backline is gonna get a lot of value on this point, I think.
Yeah, on his end are on the back tag ground from what I saw.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Just Zen always going for. Oh, Spencer does find Bonesaw
Bonesaw
again.
down. That's so impressive to see that assist with a type from Spencer. That Discord is absolutely coming in clutch in these Tracer duels and just the duels in this match overall.
Zen makes Tracer duels so much easier for the Tracer with the Zen because of the orb that gets to be on Tracer for free and the Discord orb.
Spencer does get caught out here though by the Lucio. Great deny, great peel by Jaybird.
Jaybird is just denying this Tracer any kind of like sightlines on the back route. But Miami is going through the right side to try and cut off as many sightlines from the supports as possible. They're looking for a dive on Zen. Zen does fall, but Jaybird is also traded. This is still very
very even.
Kabunga does get DMAC though.
Kabunga getting DMAC is going to be
the fight. That's
going to be the fight, I think. Looking like they're able to close out.
He's getting staggered on point. This is really rough.
Ball State really impressive there, doing the full wrap around the point to close off and to deny the Zen on his sightlines. But it's still not enough for them to win this fight.
Miami does have the Sombra now instead of the Tracer. So this is going to be very interesting for what EMP can get for this comp.
Yeah, if Ball State is going to win a fight here, it's counter that. Miami, Ohio is going to have a really tough time winning this with the ult disadvantage.
Nano comes out on the Zen again to help him live, and Kabunga just falls again because he's just alone. Then Nano comes out just to save the Zen, and it works.
Like we said, if Miami, Ohio is going to win this, they have to do something aggressive and something fast. Just having the D.Va go in by herself like that, especially against ults, is just not going to get much value at all.
So Miami's still looking. I mean, they're coming up on a big ult cycle, so hopefully they can do something with it.
Yeah, this fight right here with 3 ults on either side of the field, almost 4.
They're looking for the backline again. Castle does come out, doesn't find anything. EMP comes out, only hits 2.
Yeah, but the D.Va bomb is going to completely deny it.
Both supports for Miami. That's huge because that's really bad for Miami because the Kitsune was used at the end of that fight.
Oh, and a stagger on Kabunga. Oh wow, this is bad.
Really bad for Miami.
However, they're not capped. Oh, they're trying to get him off the point.
Miami does opt to switch to the break now.
Wowzers by Monway. Absolutely incredible.
Monway is just he's a typing king right now.
Yeah, I mean, I can't blame him. He's absolutely taking over the tank battle.
He is. He's showing a very good showing right now.
And his backline also has an incredible amount of discipline with how they're positioning and with how they're using their abilities.
This is really bad for Miami. Ball State already has the Nano again. They can use it for any kind of engage. And Kabunga's mech is being forced out. The remake does come out though. He does get the remake, and B also comes out.
Maybe they can kill this Ana with his B. A quick pick on the Ana. Quick pick on the Ana to the Zen. Zen down as well.
Down. It looks like Miami finally find the advantage after so long, and we'll get first point.
That is really, really still an impressive hold by Ball State down to the very end.
I mean, some more typing coming out from Bonesaw and Kabunga.
If Ball State is able to show that kind of performance throughout this map, there's just absolutely no way that University of Ohio is going to be able to get time with this. Then that's just assuming they play the same. If they play even slightly better than what they just did, which was an excellent performance.
Miami does have to commit every single ult though to win that fight, and Ball State does have the self-destruct for D.Va. It's the only ult that is on the board right now, actually. So this is going to be a very dry fight for the most part. Right.
Besides that D.Va bomb, it's the rest of this map is going to be defined by the few plays that happen after this.
Now Ball State, they're just looking to deny this high ground. They just want to keep their honors in up there and just try to deny as much as they can.
But the
Ohio
comes in and gets Zen.
Zen falling first is usually what the main dive target is. It's that Zen.
Right. If they're able to get quick dives like that and get a quick pick like that, that's exactly what Miami wants. D.Va bomb comes in to try to hold this out though by Monway.
They say they are just holding a point though. Point is not making any kind of progress. Monway is just living on point. This is really EMP does come out though. It finds 5. It hacks all of them.
D.Va's gonna try to come in, but they try to shoot the. Maybe they get the Ana. Oh wow! Wait, nope. They just killed the whole team. I didn't even realize.
EMP comes out and finishes them all off.
I was almost a little worried about their target focus there, but it seems like they were all able to win their 1v1s.
You say that's really good for Miami, being able to win that with only the EMP committed. Now they're coming into this next fight with 4 ults. They just have to cycle them correctly and not blast 4 and just not get anything with it.
Yeah, this is still definitely winnable for Miami, but it's going to be close, and they're going to have to play almost perfect for it to come out through.
You say they've already down. Oh, the D-bomb does come out though. Doesn't find anything. Remake comes out. Does get the remake. Skrtl does find Spencer. A big headshot for Skrtl.
Wow, it is absolutely impressive that Skrtl's able to live there.
And D-Mac does come out. They get Monway's mech. Looks like Miami's going to win this fight as well with only 1 ult committed again.
Right, even though that Diva Bomb didn't get any picks, it did get a lot of cooldowns and forced bad positions for Ball State to take. As you can see, Ball State did swap off the Zen. I think he was just getting caught out a little too much, and now they're going to try just straight up matching them. Or just almost matching them.
So the rush does come out. Nano also comes out for Ball State. Nano on the Diva trying to look for anything. But they flip backlines, and Ball State's backline is just falling.
Right, University of Ohio is able to use that overclock to secure 2 picks.
So it looks like Miami's just going to keep on pushing this card. They are down time already, but if they can cap this third, that's all that matters.
Fortunately for Ball State, they're coming up on 4 ultimates, and they should be able to hold this out. It's all going to come down to this EMP by Bonesaw.
Bonesaw needs to use this EMP early to try and get something done, but yes, he's forced out, and Skrtl does get stuck though. Oh no, he doesn't. Kabunga eats it. It looks like EMP does
and
come
a massive
out.
EMP, able to get both supports. Oh, the Ana just at 1 HP. Down again. Shocker able to get both.
But Monwade falls. That's looking like Miami's going to get this point.
Extremely close.
Miami does cap.
And Miami caps with time.
They still have time.
Absolutely impressive. I'm frankly shocked that Miami, Ohio was able to beat through the more slower playstyle and even force them off it.
They also won with the major ult disadvantage that they had.
That was extremely impressive. This is the key, a lesson that we've learned a few times playing the game. That it doesn't matter who has the advantage. Team play is what's going to win a game.
So looking at those last 2 fights, Miami finally decided to trade the backlines, or they either had to trade the backlines or everyone had to go on the dive, and they decided to go with everyone go on the dive because Ball State was just able to run over either side that they wanted. They could either stay for the dive or they could trade backlines, like I said.
Ball State rolling out on the Ana Zen backline comp. I think like I said earlier, what is going to come down for Ball State holding this or not is if they are able to out-rotate the dive. Like the one reason they won last time is not only that they used ults, but also that they were able to rotate around the point. So if they're able to counter-rotate it, they'll be able to stay far enough away from the dive and keep that Zen Ana alive. I think that's what it's all going to come down to because, frankly, there's not enough time to build any ults for the Miami University of Ohio.
It's going to be really difficult. They're going to have to find some kind of pick early. Hopefully, Bonesaw can trade the opening pick like Spencer's been getting both times. Looks like the Sojourn Sombra is going to be for Miami University. Looking for some kind of pick for that Sombra.
Just taking the high ground here, scouting it out. The Diva gets hacked early. They might be able to kill it out, but the Ana is able to kill her up really quickly.
So, the Ana is going to have a major advantage in getting ults because of how much damage the Diva's going to take.
Right.
They're going to have Nano really quickly, but on the side of Miami, they will have that rush very quickly as well.
Ball State is just poking this out, but they're going to have to make a rotate if they're going to get this dive off like they did last time.
Skrtl does fall to Monway. Monway finds him. This is very bad.
Skrtl going down here at the 17-second mark is just not good at all. He might not even come back for this last fight as they go into overtime.
Say Tracer has to switch to Tracer because his Sojourn will not make it back in time.
Right, excellent play by Monway. It sort of looks like he's feeding, but he's actually
forced.
He's building a lot of ult charge for his Ana.
Kimbunga's mech does fall. Monway is just on point, gets nanoed. He's able to live on point even longer now. Trying to look for the baby Diva, does find her. Now Kiri also finds her. It finds 3. Monway finds 3. And looks like Ball State will hold.
Absolutely massive by Monway. Great use of playing just a safe enough position where he's taking a lot of damage so that he can build the Ana Nano, but not too much where he gets demeched. Great play by Monway. I think, he's definitely earned his right to be a little bit of a chatter.
A little bit, yeah.
In this match. But that doesn't mean it's over here. Ball State, University of Ohio can still get the draw.
And say they just have to full hold this first point, just like Ball State did. But they have a bit more. Ball State has a bit more time than Miami did.
Right. I think, like we've been saying, Ball State is going to have to be a little more aggressive, even on defense. Miami Ohio is going to have to be a little more aggressive if they're going to win this out. Giving the Zen the space to just chunk and the Ana to build a really quick nano off Monway is going to be absolutely detrimental to Miami's success in this match.
Yeah, Ball State was just able to, Miami just did not go in. They were just, they trying to do too much poke and just ended up falling because the Ana heals is just too much.
Right, it ended up being their downfall as it built that nano boost. We'll see if they're able to learn from that. Learn from that quick match there.
They have to hold for almost 3 minutes. Ball State has 3 minutes to either get as many ults as they can, or they could win off the first fight.
Right. Last time they attacked, they did win on the first fight. They were able to get 2 opening picks just because of that. The Zen and the Tracer were just able to take over the map. So we'll see really quickly if they're able to accomplish that.
Let's say, looks both divas are just staging the same high ground as usual. Ana is staying back, and Zen, they're rotating the Zen up the high ground though. Ana is late going the other high ground.
Splitting up this backline is an interesting choice. I wonder if they'll capitalize on the Zen.
Doesn't look
But
like
Monway's
Spencer
able to...
does get hacked, and he falls to Bonesaw. That's really good for Miami to find that first opening pick.
Right.
Ball State will probably just back off.
Yeah, that's going to cut them out for attacking for at least another 30 seconds.
So they're looking for
if they're able to get this
well.
other pick on the Zen, but great on appeal.
Him.
Great on appeal to save him.
So Ball State is already 60 to nano. This is really... Ball State and Miami both are really close to nano.
But Skirtle goes down. That's another opening pick for Ball State.
Really big pick for Yegster to find that. They do force the Sombra out as well. They could play this kind of slow. They have a lot of time.
Right, it's gonna... Their Ana's playing really far back. And a nano boost on the Diva, but he gets slept. Let's see if he's able to get the pick on the Zen. Pick on the Zen.
Wonga just trying to get back the point. Doesn't have... Is forced to use it. Oh, it does find Monway though. This is really big for Miami though. It's looking like they will be able to hold.
Yeah, great play by the Kabunga to be able to force that out. Played, like we said,
still
faster.
Finding picks. This is really bad for Ball State. Ball State already falling under a minute now. They've shaved off 2.5 minutes already.
A draw is definitely in the realm of plausibility, as my statistics teacher would say. Absolutely impressive
It all
performance.
comes down to this fight. If Ball State lose this and extend the fight, this could be the map.
Ball State having the Diva Bomb, Pulse Bomb, and an Overclock, as well as a Trans. They do have quite an advantage going into this.
But Miami does have the EMP, which is very crucial.
Coming out right now, able to get the Zen.
EMP already comes
and
out.
Going to get the Ana.
Does get the remake.
Or the remake, excuse me.
Diva Bomb does get forced out for the remake. Zen is down though. They have 30 seconds. Spencer does find Skirtle. This is really... That pick could make them... They're coming into this fight with the mana advantage now.
And with DPS ults to just finish these final blows. Let's see what this Pulse Bomb's able to do.
Overclock does come out, but doesn't find anything and falls to Bonesaw. This is really looking shaky for Ball State.
Yeah, and Spencer's Pulse Bomb wasn't able to find any either. He's gonna have to be retreated from the fight. And a quick switch to Soldier to try to touch last second.
Let's say Ball State have to touch point. They have 3 seconds. Trans does get forced to touch point. B comes out in response to the Trans. They're just playing point. Ooh, Spencer does fall to Jaybird. Jaybird is just running rampant on point.
And a nano boost on Monway. Let's see if he's able to clean up. But a Curie Rush comes out last second.
I think it's going to be the map. They do full hold.
That is going to save Miami, Ohio.
They do full hold.
Wow.
They full hold that. Wow.
Absolutely impressive. This is turning out to be a showstopper right here. Fantastic play.
Monway is
oh my god, Monway's still typing. Listen, I think he had a great performance, but not being able to close out that map is a little bit of an embarrassment.
So they had 2 minutes and 50 seconds going into that attack just to get one tick, and they lost, and they couldn't find it. They couldn't find the full hold.
This is going to be a long one, so stay strapped.
Okay.
Still more typing.
So
of
now
course.
we decide who gets the map pick for the last map. The last map should be push, and it depends on what.
Well, we're gonna have to go into some assuming assuming Ball State wins. We're gonna have to go into some tiebreaker rules here because it's first to two.
Mm-hmm.
So if Miami is going to close it out here, what map do you think they're gonna pick?
Man, I don't know. Push maps are.
They're tough.
Their push maps are really push is just its own game mode. It's like it is the most different from all of them. It heavily relies on where you take fights and if you extend fights or not.
You know, I will say, and something that we have seen in the matches that we've played, faster comps on push maps are really good. Being able to fully regroup your team fast means you can take multiple fights, many more fights than the enemy team, and you can do quantity over quality, or just match the quality as well.
And so the quick comps make it very easy to take as many fights as you can all on point to force as much time as you want, because push is 10 minutes long and you have all that time to push the bot.
And the other thing is that every meter matters in push. Even if you can win by just a centimeter in push. And the thing is that your progress is saved for the whole match. So just being able to get those quantity fight, the team fights, I think is really going to be beneficial for Miami, who run the more faster dive comps with the Kiri Lucio or sometimes the Ana Lucio. Whereas Ball State running the Zen Ana, I really don't think they're going to be able to get away with it. Even if Miami doesn't win every fight, let's say they go 50-50, Miami's going to be able to take more fights, and therefore I think they're going to be able to win this match.
Say what Ball State's really heavily relying on is getting those supports in the position to make an aggressive play, but Monway can't wait for that long to make some kind of engagement, because if they do, then the DPS have free range to get any picks, especially with that Sombra.
Right, and I think with push, it's going to... Your positioning as a team needs to be way tighter. And I don't think Monway is going to be able to find those openings that he was able to get last map, where there's a lot of high grounds and a lot of space and a lot of rotations. Usually in push, it's all condensed to a pretty small area, if you're playing it correctly, of course. So we'll have to see how they're able to work around this. Maybe they have another comp that we haven't seen yet, or maybe they go back to the Brawl comp even. I've seen Brawl get quite a bit of success.
Say Brawl and Dive are both very viable on most push maps. And it just depends on what team is more comfortable with what.
Right. I think Esperanza gets a lot of value for both those comps, but I think if you're going more for the Brawl style, I think...
Esperanza is definitely a pick for that.
Yeah. So I think Esperanza is going to see a lot of value for either of those, but let's see what they do end up picking.
And say it looks like they're trying to find some rules for the tiebreaker.
I see.
For the tiebreaker.
Getting a little ahead of themselves,
yeah.
I might say. We're not even near the end. Well, we are near the end, but we're not quite there yet.
And say it could go to a map 4 or 5, depending on what team wins this. It could be.
Yeah, this is
a long one.
I'm pretty sure this is a first for this tournament, at least this season.
The first, yeah. This could be the first draw we've had. So this is going to be very interesting because depending on if Miami win this or they lose this, this could do another map.
Right, and I think if Ball State, I don't know. Oh, they're trying to see who gets to pick the map.
Yeah.
This is going to be interesting because I think Ball State, if I was their coach, I would say to pick Coliseo. Able to get those high grounds and just a little more long sight lines.
Controlling those high grounds for Ball State is definitely their strong suit. Like holding the high grounds with the Anas in is just really key for what they're trying to do, I think.
Right, but if Miami is able to push their elbow in and say, no, it's our map pick, I think they're going to want to get Esperanza, like we said earlier, both good for the Brawl and the Dive, and they're going to definitely be set up for it with how they're just playing.
And so it's going to be very interesting depending on what team picks what. We're just kind of waiting.
Well, right now, just to keep it out there, who do you think is going to win this match right now?
Man, I don't know. Miami's looking really strong against Ball State. Like all of Ball State's, like they had a really good attack, and then the defense just kind of fell apart towards the end.
Right, and even in the slugfest, Miami won the first map, correct?
Yep.
That one map right at the beginning is a huge advantage to go into this. Ball State, they were close to changing the tide, and they really proved themselves, I think, in this last match, but not enough to get the map. They really needed to get that map to make it even and to start the reverse sweep. But just getting the draw there is not enough, I think, for them to actually win this.
Yeah.
So I'm also going to agree that I think Miami's going to win.
I think Miami just pulls this out because, I mean, Miami is looking really strong. They lost a little bit of a footholding on Ball State's attack, and they were a little rocky, but I think that they can pull this through.
Right. It is interesting to see a little bit of personality from the players.
Definitely Monway.
Especially Monway. You know, I was saying that maybe he earned his right to talk, but I think it really would have made it a little sweeter if he was able to win that last match.
Yeah.
It was close, and I think they did prove themselves there, but like I said, they really need to win this.
I don't think having that draw it could be really bad for them.
Right. They really, really desperately needed that.
So having two almost 3 minutes to attack and just to get the first tick and not being able to get it is very rough.
Right. And like we said, because then they might surprise us here with the push, but with how Miami has been playing and how push is played, I really think that Miami is going to win this one, and they really needed that win to go back into the fourth map if they're really going to win this.
Yeah. For sure. I agree. We're just kind of waiting to see what Miami does have the map pick, so we're waiting to see what they pick for push.
Right, even better for Miami.
I'd say this could go multiple different ways, like we've said. They could go back to the brawl, or they could be staying on the dive. Like the dive did look pretty strong as soon as they found out how to counter the Ana Zen.
Right. I would really recommend, especially with going into push, that Ball State considers the brawl comps. They looked pretty even whenever they were playing on Oasis. So I think it's really going to come down to that, as well as I think it plays more into their strengths as a team with that slower, pokey play style with the Ana Zen backline. Of course, they're probably changing up a bit with the brawl, but still, playing that style, they need to build a better comp around it, I think, especially with push.
It looks like the map pick will be Esperanza from Miami.
Yeah,
Esperanza is a very dive heavy, but it can also work with brawl. Like I've seen a lot of brawl teams on Esperanza, especially.
Yeah, I think a lot of characters are gonna. Ball has seen success. Ryan has seen success. Ramantra has seen success. Winston has seen success. I think it's one of the better maps they've added, even though it's push, which is a little bit controversial.
A little controversial.
A little controversial, we'll say. But I personally think it's the best push map they've made, and with just how many different comps you can play on it, I just realized that we are on the better stream.
We are on the better stream.
That is so true. So true. Honestly, like we said, anything can be run here. But like we said, with push, just the way the mode is, I think faster comps are going to be a little bit better.
Yeah,
they just have a little bit of an edge to win it out.
So looks like the Winston is going to be played for both sides. Winston is kind of like a hybrid brawl. He can be both, but it looks like Miami's going to be leaning more heavier into the dive, while Ball is going to be leaning more heavily into the brawl with the Ana Zen and the Cass compared to Miami's Sombra and with Kiri Lucia.
Right, like we said, just as we predicted, the play styles of either team really coming out. I think Ball State choosing a Cass is a good choice, just to bolster that backline a little more and to deny the dive just a little more is definitely a good look for Ball State. But if Miami, Ohio is able to get these quick dives and able to get a lot of value through them, it's not going to be close for Ball State.
Yeah, so it looks like Ball State is just setting up on the back high ground, just trying to get their Ana Zen in position.
Right, just staging out here, trying to find the perfect jump, just trying to get some cooldowns out.
Sombra does get forced out though. She will be getting forced out, yeah. Recall, but she does force a recall.
Right.
Winston is falling. Monoway is really low.
Right, but even though they're able to rotate around, the Zen is still up and has not been really contested yet, so he's able to get value as well as the Ana.
Summer does come through. Summer, she does fall though, trying to overcommit, but they do trade the Zen for it. This could be really. Oh, but the Ninja Curly Fry does find Jaber as well.
Right, so a slight advantage for Ball State. It's getting traded out. It's a slugfest out here. Let's see if Monway is able to live at extremely low health.
He does. He does manage to live this, and that's going to be a lot of ult charge for that Ana as well. Like that was a really good fight win for Ball State.
Right. Something to mention that Ball State switches to the Lucio Zen Lucio Onyx, excuse me.
However, Miami does have the pulse bomb going in this next fight. Monway is looking for an early pick on the Kiriko, does not find it. Yakester does find Bonesaw. That's huge for Ball State.
Yeah, huge.
Keep this cart pushing.
Yeah, able to deny the second fight coming into this means that they're able to get really close progress to this first tick. This first tick is absolutely critical to winning push. At least I think. Able to get that close spawn is absolutely nuts.
Let's say both. Miami still has the pulse bomb advantage. Nano already does come out though on the Monway.
But
Pulse
a huge pulse,
the stick, and it does find 2. That's huge. And this is looking like a fight win for Miami.
A fantastic play by Bonesaw, but are the picks going to get traded out for them to win?
Spencer does find 2. This is another fight. This could be another fight win from Ball. Ball State does look like they just win this out. Wow.
Ball State is able to win this out, but without any healers, Miami, Ohio is going to be able to. Oh my goodness! And
Monway is typing up a storm.
Monway with some typing. I don't know if we're allowed to approve that. But they are able to get that first tick. An impressive performance by Ball State. Miami, Ohio just wasn't able to get the target focus to get out those last 3 characters.
Bonesaw does find a huge pulse, but he just couldn't live the engage.
Right, and now Ball State is officially swapped to the faster comp, but a Curie Rush comes out by Miami, Ohio.
Jaybird does fall to the high noon though, and Monway's primal is going out, but he does fall really low. Kabunga does drop Monway.
I know we're even, but without Miami's,
Skirtle does fall. This is still Ball State is in the lead still.
Right, if Ball State is just going to keep pushing this cart, even if they do end up losing this, they're getting tons of cart push.
Primal does come out from Kabunga to try and force them off the cart. Does find 2.
Finds 2.
Finds 3.
He's gonna have to get this third if they're really gonna win out the fight cleanly.
So they just need to make some kind of bot progress on this.
There we go. They finally got the 3, but Miami might not even get the tick in the middle to get the long spawn for Ball State.
Ball State just gets so much out of that.
Right.
It looks like they won't even get the tick.
Monway is able to stop it, able to secure the close spawns for his team.
Say Pulse is used by Bonesaw, doesn't find anyone sadly this time. EMP is going to come out though. They do find the Kiri. This is looking really good for Miami. They have to have the target focus.
But a B comes out to try to push the fight out for Ball State. Let's see if they're able to clutch it up.
Yakester does find Jaybird. This is looking really good for Ball State. Ball State does find the picks and they do win the fight.
Wow, absolutely incredible. Ball State showing that even though they're down ultimates, they can still win the fight. Down ultimates and players, mind you.
Yeah. Say Ball State does look like they have a bit of an ult advantage going into this next fight as well, because they have both DPS ults and the rush, while Miami is only coming up on rush, and that's it. It's looking really good for Ball State. Ball State definitely looking like the stronger team on push right now.
Yeah, which is not what we were predicting. I will like to mention they have swapped the comps to a more divey playstyle, but they're actually mirror matching now.
Yeah, they swapped off the Sombra with Cass.
Right.
Winston's just staging. Monway does go in deep with the rush.
With the Curie Rush, Ball State getting the first Curie Rush. I imagine Ball State is going to match with their own, and they're able to just close out the fights.
Ball State are just running over Miami University right now. This is looking really good for Ball.
Right, you know, sometimes, sometimes a thing that I'll say is sometimes it just does come down to using your ults first. And Ball State is able to use their rush first and get more value, get more cooldowns out.
So they're looking for picks in their spawn.
Wow,
they do find Skirtle. And looking for the Kiri now. Kiri's really low. And if they find that, they do find the
Kiri. That is absolutely detrimental.
This is so much cart progress that they're getting.
This is the kind of look we wanted to see Ball State if they were going to win this. Really impressive. I love the more aggressive playstyle they're using. It's exactly what they needed to win this game of push. But are they going to be able to hold it out as they approach the end?
Getting that end tick to win the map out before the time ends is very rough. The Primal does come out though, trying to look for the cast. You can't find it though, cannot get the finishing kill.
Good peel by Ball State's support backline. They are going to have an incredible ult advantage.
Skirtle finds Spencer, but they trade the cast. Oh, but Monway does fall.
Monway does fall early. That is going to be a big advantage for Miami, Ohio.
It's definitely, I think, the fight win for Miami. Yep. They do find the rest of the picks, and they will get it. Hopefully they can get the tick past this time. and get the close spawns away.
Yeah, Miami, Ohio has gotten 6 meters of progress opposed to Ball State's 120. A quick little fact here is that every meter of progress is 1 second, so they have to hold the point for 2 minutes straight if they're going to win this game out.
Ball State's already looking on an engage on the cart. They're not wanting Miami to get any kind of cart progress whatsoever.
Right, just staging out here. They're able to use the rush.
And Beat comes out for Ball State, looking to just blow up anything they can right now. Beat does come in response though. Cass does get found by Skirtle with the Deadeye. It's looking really good. Skirtle finds another. He finds 3. Looking really good. Nice.
And a good cleanup by Miami, Ohio. That Kiri Rush is just absolute, is one of the better ultimates in the game.
For sure.
Right. The Beat, I really think they should have used that as an escape tool to come out of the fight and then come back in with the Beat to win it.
Yakester did really pop that a little early, I think.
Right. Just taking the Kiri Rush face on is extremely dangerous.
This is looking. This might be the foothold Miami needed to start pushing this bot.
Right, as well as a decent ult economy. It's pretty even right now. It could come down to anything.
Pulse does get stuck on the cast though, but he does live because the castle.
Right, the new change able to sustain that. But
Monway
goes down.
He was in primal and got blown up.
Jaybird extremely low, but able to get fueled back up. This is exactly what Miami, Ohio needed to do. Back into the engagement, looking at the cast. Let's see if they're able to get the target focus to finish off these kills.
They need to finish this fight now. Like they need any kind of time they can get. Kabunga is just going into their spawn, trying to get as many picks as he can. They will get the tick. This is looking really good for Miami, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. Just as you said, I think the more aggressive team is really what makes a good push team and exactly what you need to win a game of push.
Ball State is switching to the Reaper to try and respond to this hyper aggression that Miami has just found, because they need something to stop this aggression from Miami. Deadeye does come out, trying to look for anything. The speed is coming through to try and get him to get any kind of position. The shot does go off on Winston. Winston is really low. Monway does almost drop. They do find the cast and Monway does fall. Miami does look like they will be winning this fight out just flat. Looks like they will.
I think it was a smart play for Ball State to try to flip the map there and try to steal the bot, but Miami, Ohio was just ready for it. So great play by Miami.
Miami did use 2 ults in that fight, so Ball State could be coming into this fight with a bit of an ult advantage because they have the rush.
Ball State coming in with both support ults is definitely way more impactful than the ults that Miami has. We'll have to see if they can use them properly.
Bonesaw looking for some kind of pulse bomb right here, I think. He looks like, oh, he just missed, just barely.
But the rush comes out, able to secure Kabunga as well as Skirtle.
Spencer finds 2.
And a nice cleanup. Even still losing to Lucio, but still a nice cleanup by Ball State.
That was a really good push by Miami. Now they just have to try and find some kind of foothold back. They're swapping to the Reaper in response to try and mirror this.
Yep, they are able to get the close spawn, so maybe they can keep them if they're able to stop the tick right here.
Ball State has the Death Blossom, which is a very, very good ultimate in this fight.
Yeah, definitely quite strong.
So
with an early bubble out and the Death Blossom.
Death Blossom finds 2, both supports. This is looking like a fight win, maybe even a map win for Ball State.
Both supports that definitely is going to secure this fight. And with the long spawn coming out earlier, it's going to be impossible for this.
I don't think they're going to be able to touch.
Absolutely impressive by Ball State. Being able to change their playstyle for their needs. This was exactly what Ball State needed to do to really prove themselves here. I'm quite impressed. I gotta say, I was a little worried with how they showed on Paricio, but here on Esperanza, I think they really proved themselves to show that they are still in it to win it.
Yeah, for sure. The first like 3 minutes of this map were just so Ball State favored and Ball State heavy that Miami just couldn't find a foothold to get it back. They were just too much in like a hole. They dug themselves in too deep of a hole to get back.
Right, so like we said, we thought that Ball State sort of played the more pokey play style and Miami played the more fast style, but Ball State was able to show that they can do the fast style as well, and it looked quite comparable or even better than what Miami was able to show. So this is definitely looking to be a little bit of a showstopper here.
I say this last map is going to be the last map. This it all comes down to this. Like depending on what map is picked, this could be, and this is the end all be all.
Right, and with another control pick, it will have to see what they end up picking. Of course, I believe every control map is available besides Oasis because that was the first map played. So they could pick anything, and we'll just have to wait and see what they end up picking. Of course, this is a situation not many teams prepare for.
Yeah, this is one of the longest series I think this tournament has had so far.
Right, and we're not even at the grand finals yet.
Yeah, and this isn't even the grand finals yet. This is looking like a really good series from both these teams. Miami, this being their first match.
Right, and with this being a LAN event, with the energy and enthusiasm Ball State is bringing into this match, and with the last win, I think that is going to be a serious underlooked advantage.
Yeah, say especially from what we can hear, because we can hear them in the other room screaming.
We literally can hear them. There's multiple rooms. We can still hear them shouting from the other room. I'm assuming that's Monway.
Yeah, I think it definitely is. Ball State is just looking to keep the energy up, because if they can keep the energy up and the speed up, Ball State could win this all.
Right. The energy and the enthusiasm and the aggressive play that it brings out is definitely showing from Ball State.
Yeah, 100%.
It is absolutely one of the big reasons why they won the last map. I also think another big reason is they finally got off that Zenana backline.
I think that was a big reason, and the support ults were way quicker on the side of Ball State compared to Miami. Miami
way quicker
was
and
very
impactful.
Behind. Yeah.
The Kiri Rush, like we said, is in this comp especially is incredibly powerful. Probably the best.
Looks like we
game.
are going to be going to Lijiang. Lijiang is a classic for NA. Everyone knows Lijiang. This map is going to be the deciding factor on who wins the series.
Right, and Lijiang being a classically more brawl comp, we'll have to wait and see what they end up picking. Even though Winston now is, like you said earlier, is more of a hybrid tank. He can do dive, but he can also do brawl. So we'll have to see what they end up picking. I imagine it's either going to be Winston, Ram, or Ryan.
And so this could be really weird, though, especially for the DPS picks, because on Lijiang you can pick things like the Junkrat or the Sim and play for like that just ultra cheese and get as many like blow-ups as you can with it. This is going to be very interesting.
Starting here on Garden, though, we're probably going to see more standard comps. Although we might see a flyer, I do heavily doubt it. I think both of these teams realize the power that the backlines have, especially with their ultimates. Just being able to affect the game so much. And they come right back out on both the Winston comps.
It looks like Winston is going to be the tank for this map. Both teams going for Kiri Lucio. I think they both decided that going for the full dive is better.
Right, and it just works out better for them. A little more faster of a play style, I think, is also really important for Koth, for King of the Hill. So I completely agree with these choices. I think what it's going to come down to now is the damage. It looks like they're running slightly different options here. One with the Reaper and one with the Sojourn. Oh, no, they are going to match themselves. This is the Season 1 comp. Season 1 5 guys comp.
Yeah, Grand Finals 5 guys. Oh, we do have a DC, though.
We do have an RQ.
We do have a quick DC. Hopefully we can get him back in quickly.
Yeah, I'm sure that's just a tech issue. Maybe they will restart the match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there have been a couple disconnects during this day. You actually had to disconnect today, actually.
I had to disconnect as well.
I
did hear that we're actually on like actual land now here. I'm not actually sure if that's true or not, but maybe some technical difficulties.
Yeah, just some minor technical difficulties. It'll be all right. As soon as he gets back in, we'll start the map up again.
What is interesting though is that both teams are doing the Season 1 dive comp. Earlier this season, I was the Winston player in this, and something very unique about this is being able to flip the map.
Yeah.
With your Sojourn, you actually want her to sort of slide into the enemy team and be able to flip the map, flip the engagement.
Flipping the engages for this map is going to be very crucial for both teams because it's going to be very
It just keeps an aggressive edge.
Yeah.
For whichever team does it. So whichever team is able to get more value out of this comp is what's gonna end up winning.
We have a bit of banter going in the chat right now during the pause.
Whoa! Oh my goodness! A little bit of unprofessional.
A little bit of hatred. It's all right though. There's always some competition. competition nerves and
yeah, tensions are high.
Especially going to this last map. This is the deciding factor of the series.
A fourth map, like we said, is unique to this tournament so far, and it looks like according to the rulebook, they're not going to restart the map for Skirtle. So Ball State will have a slight advantage going into this first fight.
No, wait, both teams do agree to a restart, so we are restarting the map.
Oh, that is some sportsman-like conduct.
I think it might also restart the point. Maybe.
Oh, so we might get a different point?
We might start with a different point.
Let's find out.
Let's say it is a different point. So this changes everything. This changes like what both teams can roll out on, especially on this point. A lot of teams like to do this MTP brawl onto point and just play on the point.
I imagine that the teams are going to just do the exact same comp they were doing. I think both teams are seeing a little bit of, some good success on this Winston brawl. Just kidding.
Nope. Both teams are looking for the Reinhardt brawl.
That is really interesting. I wasn't really expecting that.
The deciding factor is the DPS. Both teams could run the Mei, and either team could stick with the Sim just to burn the Reinhardt shield to give their Reinhardt an advantage.
I think what it's going to come down to is these Mei walls.
Yeah, Mei walls are very crucial in this team comps because that decides if the Reinhardt can get pinned or not.
Not only is the Mei with the walls going to secure engages and team fights for their team, but the Blizzard is also the most impactful.
Both teams are looking just a TP point. They're both sticking on the Sim as well. This is really very interesting.
Ball State coming in for the engagement, even though they didn't have the point.
Ball State does find the pick on Bonesaw for the first pick of the map.
That is not good for a brawl comp to succeed, but they're able to catch up this Mei, force out Lamp.
They say, ooh, but Monway does drop. This is really good for Miami University.
Yeah.
Ooh,
but able to trade out.
Fall though. The Sim Beam is charged fully, and Ninja Curly Fry is just beaming everything down.
Yeah, Ninja Curly Fry being able to live there is able to charge that beam and just secure the fight when just through sheer damage.
They say both now. This is gonna be very difficult for Miami to find a foothold just to get into this.
Right, Ninja Curly Fry's turrets are just all over the point. It's a small advantage, but a small advantage is all you need to win a Ryan 1v1.
Yep, especially in this Ryan 1v1. Being a Ryan player myself, this is very difficult trying to get into this point because with Sim turrets slowing you down and with the Sim Beam just melting your shield.
Not to mention the Mei wall. I imagine Kabunga is going to get a lot of deaths going into this.
Say, Window does come out and doesn't find anything with the fire strikes, but they do get point control.
They are able to push them out, but Window comes back.
Ball State's own Window comes out. Doesn't find anything though as well. Blizzard does come out and Shatter. Shatter does find one, and the Mei ult being able to just clear out point. This is really good for Miami University.
Right, although they did use 3 ults, I think that we can both agree that it's absolutely necessary.
Ball State, you committed the beat. I think they might have Ajaxed.
Oh my! What?
Ball State, they committed 3 ults as well. That was really good for Miami then.
Yeah, that is not good.
It's really good for Miami.
Yeah, this is exactly what Miami wanted.
And they find Ninja Curly Fry. That's a really good pick.
Oh, but a Shatter! It was a bait play. But a beat comes through, but they're down their BAP. Although they're going to survive for this, they're not going to survive for much longer.
Monway has to live. Monway has to live.
Kabunga down. This is looking really good for Ball State as they use the Blizzard to secure the fight.
It looks like they do find the win for that fight. That was very sketchy at first for Ball State because they're losing that Sim at the beginning. And the Sim does swap over the Sojourn, so now they have Sojourn instead of Sim.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that pick going into this, but we'll see how they're able to use it. They come in for a quick engage through the courtyard as Ball State pushes back and holds point. Tries to get a TP, but it gets absolutely nothing.
This is looking very good for Ball State being able to just hold this point.
Even on the ult economy, but Ball State is going to build a window here just shortly. Let's see if they're able to get any value with the window fire strike.
They used it. Reinhardt does fall low.
None yet.
And now Miami's own window does come out though. And
they're going to try to rotate it out, but Monway doesn't complete the rotate with them. That's 2 picks down, and now we're even. Shatter comes through, but gets no one.
Finds nothing, and just cannot find the enemy team. Ball State do win this fight.
Yep.
That could be the first point.
Right, that was looking really good for Miami, but they weren't able to close it out.
Miami is just really struggling with these extended fights. They just cannot clean it up.
Right, now stuffing the spawn room.
They will take first point.
That was a really impressive performance by Miami. I doubted the Sojourn, but I think overall the team play that was shown by them is really good. Even though Monway was picked out that last fight, the rest of the team was together. And in a brawl comp, even though if your Ryan's down, you're still a brawl. You still have to play together. And so some good disciplined play by Ball State.
So now we are seeing the same point that we started off with, and both teams are going to mirror the Winston comp, the classic Winston comp with the Reaper Soj. It's going to be very interesting to see because it's a completely different playstyle of what we just saw. So Miami could just bring this back.
Right. This comp is just like a brawl comp where you still have to play really close, really tight together. So we're going to see who just has more team play. I think that's what it's going to really come down to.
It's really interesting. Either team have different TP characters.
Yeah, that was interesting. But Miami is going to take the point first. Being able to hold this point is nice, but both teams are on it. I actually have no idea. This seems a pretty even matchup right now.
Ooh, Sojourn almost finds Bonesaw.
Orb goes in. They're going to go for the brawl. Ball State going for the first brawl.
Ball State get control over the point, and they will be getting the first flip.
That is a big advantage for Miami. But Ball State is going to try to retake this. Let's see what they're able to do.
Kabunga is falling really low, though.
Right, and some big cleave by Monway as well.
So they're just looking for any kind of in they can.
Right, any slight advantage. That's all you need to win this. And there's a dive by Monway.
They do find the Reaper. Spencer does find Bonesaw. It's really good for Ball State. But the rush does come out. Doesn't find anything. They do find Yakester. Monway is falling really low. They could, Miami could still win this with this rush. It doesn't look very good.
Yeah,
though.
It looks like they're getting out. Like I said, the Kiri rush is one of the most impactful ultimates in this composition and in the game. But it scales with how many people are alive, and so just being down that pick at the beginning is I think what lost them that fight.
For sure. And now Ball State is coming into this next fight with a major ult advantage. They're looking for an early hit with this Kitsune. And it's looking... Oh, but Monway
goes down a little too deep with...
Skirtle does drop, though. They traded out. But this is still really good for Miami being a tank up. Tank is one of the most crucial parts of this game.
Right, and the engagement. But if they're going to get anything, they have to do it together. A Primal comes out.
They are just playing point. Reaper does fall. Bonesaw needs to live, though.
And a beat comes out for Miami, Ohio as well.
This is looking really dicey.
That's 3 ults for Miami, Ohio.
Blossom from Miami still can't find anything.
They need to secure this fight yesterday.
Monway does find one. This extended fight is really bad for Miami. So many ults were committed, and they still couldn't find the foothold.
Right, Ball State was able to still hold it, even with the first pick on Monway.
Ball State has both DPS ults going into this next fight, while Miami only has the overclock and coming up on rush. This could be really good for
Right,
for
this
Ball
is
State.
the last fight coming up right here. They only have 3%. They're able to get the touch, but they're going to fight. Ball State's going to be able to fight on their terms with their ultimates.
The overclock does come out for Ball State. Finds Kabunga already.
Pick on Kabunga and Skirtle.
Finding 3.
Wow, absolutely fantastic play.
That will be the map.
That is going to secure it. Fantastic play.
Wow. Ball State do find it.
Wow.
Ball State end up winning the entire
Ball
series.
State getting the reverse sweep.
Yep, they find the entire series after that.
Absolutely fantastic play. Ball State University winning this match is absolutely critical as they get to go further on in the bracket.
So this is very, very good for Ball State.
I think the biggest thing here and with LANs is that you're able to learn a lot about the game really quickly. And I think Ball State was able to show that with changing their playstyle completely to a more aggressive playstyle, like we said. And being able to show that and being able to play on Miami's turns and just do it better is exactly what you need to see from a team to really win out a whole tournament like this.
Once they got to Lijiang, like Ball State were 100 to 20, 100 to 30, 100. Like,
right.
It was just really good for Ball State.
Right, and with the way the game is going, a more on and off play style where you're either completely in or you're completely out, I think is really going to be beneficial for Ball State as they go into the next matches and in through the series.
Yeah.
However, I think Miami still has a chance to bring this back through the losers bracket. So don't count them out just yet.
Yeah, I think we definitely get to see more of both teams coming into this tournament.
Right, but either way, absolutely fantastic performance by Ball State. The DPS and the supports were just able to use their ultimates way more effectively than Miami, actually getting able to secure kills and secure progress on objectives. So just fantastic play overall by Ball State.
For sure. I think that's about it from us.
Yeah, and with that, I guess we'll call it. Just say thanks for having us on, bringing OU onto the camera and casting this match. It was an absolute blast.
It was very fun.
Yeah, watching Ball State and Miami, Ohio play, both fantastic teams, bringing it down to the last match, like we said. So,
yeah, very.
Just thanks for having us on, and we'll be right back with you.
I unmuted it, so. Oh, all right, we're on. I didn't realize. All right, hello everyone. Welcome to back to the Kentucky LAN. Believe we've got a lower bracket matchup here between the University of Cincinnati and Ohio State University. I'm Hui Pham, and joining me today is sorry.
It's okay. We met each other like 10 minutes ago. We've been chatting the entire time. I'm Fancy Tuna. I'm from Miami of Ohio, and you are from Florida somewhere.
Yes, I'm from University of South Florida. So.
Which makes it quite a trip.
Right, yeah.
But we both have Miami in common.
That's true.
And we take that.
Although, even though I'm from South Florida, it's actually in Tampa, not in South Florida, which is interesting way to
just a little lore for you. And we're not from Miami either. We're from Oxford.
Right, yeah.
Which is not Miami at all.
Yeah, very strange things. But as we take a look here at the winners bracket, so far Maryville have already advanced themselves into the winner semifinal, and they will take on the winner of Converse and Miami of Ohio, your university.
Correct. That game is going to be played tomorrow morning. It got pushed due to some open division games, but we're looking forward to it. We got to spend a lot of time talking to Converse today, and they're just absolute sweethearts. We're looking forward to what that game's going to look like.
Yeah, and as we take a look at this lower bracket here, Ball State will take on University of Kentucky Blue. They beat my South Florida Bulls 2-1 in a heartbreaker, for me at least, but for these home fans here, jubilation. And that brings us to our matchup here, University of Cincinnati Red versus Ohio State Scarlet. Now, University of Cincinnati Red, they've come into this tournament as a 15 seed, and they've made it super far into round 3 of losers bracket. They've beat Kennesaw University 2-0. They even actually took Converse 2-1 in winners bracket. And then, of course, the last match, they beat Louisiana State University 2-0 to set themselves up with an in-state clash here between two schools from Ohio. And
there's a lot of red in this bracket too. I have noticed there's a significant amount of red all over the place. And coming from as another red Ohio school, it's fun to see this match. We have played both of these teams before, and I know a lot of people from both schools. Personally, I love the narrative of the underdog. I love kind of that person that walks through. I love the story. So I'm kind of going for UC here, but this could go either way, realistically.
Yeah, I mean, like, the underdog story of University of Cincinnati, of course, it is such a great story as well. I mean, Cincinnati as well, like, if you even think about it from, like, a more traditional sports perspective, they're a bit of a smaller school. And, hey, in college football, they made it to the college football playoff, whereas Ohio State, for them, it's like, well, that's kind of expected out of them. So it'll be interesting to see, Ohio clash, underdog, David versus Goliath, really. And we are on the brand new, or sort of brand new map. It's been out for a little bit. Can't remember the exact name.
I believe it's Eco Point Antarctica.
Eco Point,
but it could just be Antarctica. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think there's two Antarctica maps. Yeah. So it makes it a little bit difficult. But as I haven't really seen either of these two teams play too much, and your program has played against them. What can you tell me about either of these?
Boy, well, I can tell you that both of them are really good teams. Like, that's just what I can tell you. When we go against these teams, these are teams that we find we are learning from. These aren't stomps. These are really comfortable games. They typically kind of use a very similar play style, which is a little more poke sometimes. But I think on this point especially, I don't know how much you've seen this point, but the actual point capture locations themselves are really small. They feel very small. So kind of going with that brawl, maybe more thing that we're going to see here.
Yeah, and we're going to see Rushcom very common on this map right now. A little bit of different variations from each side. It's University of Cincinnati, they pulled out a Genji here, so that could be very fun to see. Maybe we see some Blade action, and Ohio State University, the most traditional form of Rush, as we're going to see them try and push on it. They're going to be able to get the pick early now, and Lava, he's just running all over. The lamp is going to be able to, is going to be put down, but not going to be able to save anybody there, as Ohio State take first blood, and they cap the point first.
Yeah, that was quick, that was smooth. It felt like they knew what they were kind of coming into there. You're used to seeing some of those picks on this point just because of the size, and I think going in with a full brawl and being aggressive, saying, you know, we're not going to kind of play the back and forth here, and going through and taking that point as aggressively as they did work in their favor. Now, I do like the Ramatra on this point, but I've got my caveats against Ramatra here. I always say that he looks too much like Sigma in silhouette for me to kind of recognize him. But I do like seeing him on this one. Ooh, and actually we're going to get rid of the Lucio there on the side of the University of Cincinnati, which is going to regret, which is UC is going to regret. They're not going to be able to make that push, and they're just going to have to back up. Try again, really, and this is just costing them time and point percentage.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this May has done a really good job of, being able to split the team off. We saw right there, they split off the Ramatra. What does everyone do? Immediately run to that Ramatra, and boom, control alt deleted. And then now, when you don't have your tank, then it's just kind of, easy pickings for, Ohio State right now. And they've got so many ults to work with, nearly 5 ultimates, whereas Cincinnati, they've just built their first ult, and they have to swap to the Doomfist now. Right now, no one's able to really do it. The Doomfist punch comes in, but no one able to follow up in the Deadeye. It's going to be able to pick off Reginald, Reginald, yeah.
It looks like May wants to be aggressive with this ult. Oh, what a dink, though. She was able to take out the body shot, on Genji. Again, just making University of Cincinnati rewind. They had to make a couple of different character choices, and what that's doing is it's not letting them build ultimates. They have to keep resetting that ultimate to 25%. And every time they make a character swap, like just now, they swapped off to May. They lose that ult.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. And another thing here, they've had this Genji. I was very interested in it, but they haven't even built Blade yet, and we're about to hit 100%. They've got Ohio State, they have 3 ultimates to work with and 3 very big point-clearing ults. Doomfist is on the point all by himself, and Reginald, he's going to fall already. And that's going to be a massive pick for Ohio State. The Mail is going to come out to help clear up everything. And it looks like Ohio State University should be able to hold on to this point as Endrick just swinging at nothing right now. So low, trying to be able to get the rest of the picks. But there's DPS remaining for Ohio State, and that probably should do it as soon as they just clear this Lucio off. And so far, it looks like Big Brother is beating up on Little Brother right now to start.
Yeah, University Scarlet definitely made a great first impression. I really like I like seeing the May pick here. Personally, just from a lore perspective, it's cute to see her back in Antarctica. But I really like watching the restraint on that May. She had multiple opportunities to use that freeze if she really wanted to, and it would have done a lot. But she managed to restrain it and hold on to it, and the team was able to follow through without needing that ult until that pivotal point with overtime. So that restraint there I always see is really pivotal.
Yeah, I mean, in a few games I've seen today, there's been teams that have had 5 ults, and then they just blow through all their ults, and sometimes they don't even win the fight, and so it was a good job there from Ohio State, from the May, to be able to just hold on to that. And if you're Ohio State, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You're going to stick with the exact same comp here. Cincinnati, they're going to start with the Doomfist here, so maybe look to get a little disrupt here, because nothing disrupts a dive more than some person just running in and just punching and everyone gets stunned, and then maybe Chu will be able to get some picks on the Hanzo, as right now Ohio State, they're just going to be able to take this high ground, and I think they're just going to try and make sure that Cincinnati can't get a bunch of different angles on them. I think that's really their win condition, and Endrick's going to be able to get the pick to start. He had a slow start on the Genji to start in the first round, and he got the pick there to start us off in the second round. He's walled off by the May and be able to survive, but so far Cincinnati, they haven't really been able to take advantage of that pick that they've got. The Doomfist is just running into the back, causing chaos. Both are down on the ground, But no one's still gonna fall down. Great job from both these supports, and finally it's gonna be the Reinhardt that gets the pick, and he gets another one with the Fire Strike now. And so Ohio State, despite losing the first pick, they get first point still.
Yeah, I contribute that to a significant number of like just minor details that are going on in this game right now. The positioning of the Reinhardt so that he doesn't necessarily need his shield all the time. He can put it down behind that middle beam there, or that middle support there on the point. You know, the Ana not being super contested on the side of University of Cincinnati, but when she was, my God, she was unable to recover from that. And just even the most minor things, as you know, as Reinhardt putting his shield in a certain direction, that makes the game for this team.
Yeah, I mean, look, Nami did such a great job, I think, for Ohio State as well, as they've already built up the window, but they're gonna choose not to use it so far right now. As Ando on the Doom, looking to go somewhere, and the Nano's gonna come out now through the window. Is it gonna be able to pick off anyone? It is Reginald who falls, and oh! The Doomfist, he's going to be able to escape with his ult just enough. He's going to look to be able to pick up one, but nope, his team already picked everybody off, so he can just walk back to the point. He did his job of just pushing the tanks away, so that meant everyone else from Cincinnati could just get those free kills.
Yeah, and Cincinnati, I believe they see the first control of the map since they hit Eco Point Antarctica. I'm wondering how they're going to play defensively here. It looks like Chu's actually going to come out with the Dragon and get the McCree. Probably we're not expecting that there. These two melee tanks kind of keep having a little bit at it, and unfortunately Amdog goes down on the Doomfist. So it's a little bit of a trade here going on. It could really go either way. We're looking at the Reinhardt here on the University of Scarlet, or Ohio State Scarlet side, kind of pushing. They're getting kind of aggressive. They want to see if they can take this point away from Cincinnati and how far they're going to back up. And Cincinnati looks like they're really backing up. They're not super comfortable without their Doomfist who just popped in. We're going to see the McCree High Noon come out, see if it can't get anybody. It was about to get a couple of people, but Cincinnati just kind of has to play safe, and they managed to do so. The McCree ult does not actually, it's casting, I'm so sorry, I do this all the time. It doesn't get anybody, but they managed to pick off a trade on both sides here. Again, this is just going back and forth, and Ohio State actually managed to pick up the point at some point. I wasn't paying attention to when that swap happened, but now it is split 50-50 with both teams on that point. Andog getting 2 on the Doomfist, really aggressive gameplay there, going for those smaller characters. The SD, the performance are working really well.
Oh man, what a big shadow they're coming out from Ohio State Scarlet. They're trying to just maintain control of this point. There's a great job from Nami in the backline, just able to keep the whole team alive. And oh no, it's not even the punch that did it. It's his little pea shooters, but they're deadly when you combine them together. But Chu's gonna fall down, and we're gonna see if he was trying to protect the Lucio.
He's just a baby. Let him go.
Oh no, the Lucio just got left out to die there.
Leave him. He'll go tell his friends. He'll go back and tell his friends. I really like what Doofus did with his ultimate there. I thought he was going to go directly onto that Reinhardt, and what he did instead is he went right in front of that Reinhardt and did all of that damage to his shield. So his shield was down, he couldn't protect himself or his friends, and then he went after the backline and let his DPS take care of the Reinhardt. Really good.
Oh yeah, I mean, that was a great job there, and as another Dragon comes out, it's not going to be as good as the last one, but still does a good job of pushing Ohio State onto the point, which is not where they want to be. It will allow Chu and Endrick to get angles, but I guess not, because Endrick is going to just fall to the Reinhardt now. Lava going to get another one. This man is a menace on the Reinhardt right now. Chu trying to find a pick to counteract, but it's just not going to come from him. It's going to be performance to pick up the last 2. And Ohio State, they are trying to close out this map here. One more fight to go, realistically, for either team. And you look at the ults, both teams have a decent amount of them.
This has been a really good back and forth. It's been so back and forth that I haven't even noticed when the point is swapping. Like, it's just, they keep giving it back and forth with 20-30% each. It actually looks like Cincinnati's just, they want to take it. They just want to walk on up on it. Ohio State using High Noon to try to get people off of it, unable to do so, and a right click goes out, taking down most of Doofist's health, and they managed to pick him off on Lava.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really big pick there. That was a good play from Andog, but he's going to have to trade his life out for it, and the rest of his team are going to fall because he traded his life out for it. And that is going to be Ohio State taking the first map here, and that would be first strike in the Battle of Ohio between these two. Yeah, I'd say David versus Goliath. I still have to call it David versus Goliath.
I like it. I do like it. That is giving the correct description. Ohio State came out really decisively. They came out very decisively. It felt like they knew what their team comp was going to be going into this, and they were prepared for whatever was going to come their way. They said, we're going to play this comp, and if there's a Pharah, here's what we're going to do. If there's a Mei, here's what we're going to do. So they had just practiced it enough to know that when they went into it, they would be comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, I think that one thing we saw is Ohio State, they like you said, they knew exactly what comp they wanted to run. They wanted to run on this map, and this map is very good for rush. So, and to see Cincinnati not really take that rush mirror other than use the Ramatra, but even when they did use that Ramatra, they still had some weird quirks with it. They had a Genji instead. I believe they had like maybe an Ana instead of Lucio. I'm not entirely sure, but I mean, regardless, it's little weird variations on this rush comp. So it'll be interesting to see where they're going to take us, because I think definitely they don't want to take. They would definitely don't want to go to a map that seems to be strong with rush, because. Yeah. They've clearly just not been able to handle it. So it'll be interesting to see if they pick maybe Gibraltar. Gibraltar's a good dive map, and they might be more comfortable with it. Genji can definitely do a lot more on that.
And the next point is control push, right?
I believe the next point is hybrid or
right?
payload.
Yeah. Which one's your favorite? What's your favorite hybrid map?
My favorite, I mean, I'm a classic Kings Row person. It's just so easy, and as a Mei player especially, like. It's just rush central right there, and it's just so fun to do.
I don't know if it's universal, but like every time Kings Row comes up, it's just like, okay, we're home. Like we can just kind of play how we want to play. We can just kind of enjoy it. It's a fun map. I don't have any complaints about that map.
I mean, you can really realistically run almost everything, but we're not going to be going to Kings Row. We're going to be going to Parisio down in Brazil. So it's interesting to see Cincinnati. This is a little bit more of a divier map. There's a lot of high ground that you're going to have to be able to take, and how else to do it other than, diving up there to get it.
Yeah, and which means that there's realistically no way we're going to see a Ramatra, right? There's no way we're going to see something like that. I have seen Sigma on this map before, and everybody knows that I really like Sigma. But I don't think we're going to see that today. I am expecting Monkey. I'm expecting Doomfist. I'm not expecting Wrecking Ball. Actually, interestingly enough. I know that we practice Wrecking Ball sometimes on Miami University's side, but I think that sometimes it may just feel a little too inconsistent. And especially if you're kind of expecting that dive, then people are going to be ready to counter it, and you can counter ball pretty. It's quite fun to counter ball. I think sometimes it feels good, just like with a Mei, Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that we have seen a little bit of ball like in this tournament overall. Mm-hmm. It wouldn't surprise me, but I do, just like you said, I do expect to see, the Doomfist, especially from Cincinnati. Winston probably coming out from Ohio State Scarlet, but I haven't really seen too much, as I believe they made a swap in tanks. I'm not entirely sure.
And Dog and there was a swap. I'm not sure where. We'll find out. Yeah. It'll be a fun little surprise for everybody involved.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, that's true. Oh, Junker Queen. Never mind.
Was not. Oh.
Never mind.
I was so ready. We were just going to talk about Junker Queen the entire time.
Oh, yeah. I was going to be like, oh, wow. I absolutely did not expect this, but nope. It is our expected picks here, really. Other than a little bit Andog. I expected Andog to be on the Doomfist, but him on the Winston, I guess. You know what? That also works as well. We did expect to see Winston on this map, so
we love Winton. Yeah, Winton is important in like Miami lore. Like we're big Winton fans. But I will say I am liking the choices on Cincinnati Red. I'm not sure how they're going to go. I like seeing snipers. It's just fun to watch. But a triple sniper comp, the way that they have it right now, could be very interesting, especially against the dive comp that they are running on Ohio State side.
Yeah, I mean, if really it's going to come down to those picks, and again, how will they'll be able to survive, the dive coming out from, the Tracer and the Monkey, because these snipers are very fragile, and we're going to see Chu has done a very good job on the Hanzo so far today, so we'll see if he can continue to do that with the Mercy Pocket from Reginald, as Cincinnati are going to look to wrap right. As the Widow, there comes the dive right now, but all it does is just put the bubble down and say, FaZe, you will not be shooting anyone through this bubble.
Oh yeah, definitely the Widowmaker's looking for that backline right now. They're not looking necessarily to just kill that Monkey. They may be avoiding the Monkey, but they want the Kitty go, they want the Ultimate.
Yeah, and well, there goes a dive from Lava. He's able to pick off, or correction, no, actually, it was...
he tried it.
Yeah, it was Lava who dove in the back and got picked for it. And right now, University of Cincinnati, they are going to take advantage of, you know, that pick that they got from the tank. It's interesting to see both monkeys kind of just dove in at the same time, and no one came to support either of them. But one survived and one didn't. So right now, that's early advantage to Cincinnati, who have 2/3 of the point already, but Lava's come back in time to try and contest this again. He goes into the back line to dive, and Chu, is he going to be left out to die? No, the Mercy is coming in to help support him. No, that Mercy is just determined to make sure that, you know what, you're not going to be able to dive onto our back line so easily. And right now, no picks. FaZe is trying to, but no, Performance with the pick there. And no more Widow, and trying to get the pick onto the Ana, but not going to happen. And win that, there's going to be a res onto FaZe right now. And Performance is just so close to getting that pick. And right now, he's just looking up to climb up the stairs, maybe get a high noon pick. No, he won't, but Chu is going to fall instead to that pulse bomb. As right now, Tracer just in the back line, but the Primal's gonna be popped right now.
They want this point. They want this point. They're fighting for it. He gets 2.
Yeah, and Dog with the Primal Rage, he's able to get 2. He's looking for a 3rd. He will get that 3rd. And so Ohio State so far right now holding on, but it's not for long because Cincinnati are gonna be able to cap it, and they've got plenty of time to work with to cap this second point. 4 minutes.
Yeah, I'm very impressed. It felt like it was a losing battle. That monkey ult came in and it really kind of changed the game for them, and I think that they were able to kind of perform on that. Also, a big shout out to the Ana on the side of the University of Cincinnati. We love a good monkey sleep. He deserves a little nap, and it's a lot easier for the snipers to get a hold of the shots when you can.
Yeah, and we're going to see a swap here from Ohio State. Performance is going to go onto the Tracer, which will leave, I believe, Sock.
Sock. We're going to call it Sock,
Sock, yeah. Okay, Sock is going to go onto the Sombra now. So a little bit of 5-man action almost for Ohio State, as they want to keep these 3 minutes and keep it at that. And FaZe is also going to make the swap now. No more. There's no more Widow onto the Sojourn. This is the first time I've seen Sojourn in this tournament, and this is Cincinnati just taking over this fight right now. The Kitsune Rush came out from Ohio State, but it's not going to matter. Lava just using that Primal Rage, trying to get any value, but he's just not going to be able to. And right now, I think he's just trying to play to live.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of chaos in a monkey ult, and I think that they wanted to instill some of that in what was left on that team. They want to get the payload as far as they can, and if they can distract with the monkey ult, we'll distract with the monkey ult. I mean, that works. I am curious what your thoughts are on the Mercy pick on the side of the
I think it's a great pick. You know, usually it's a great combo. The Sojourn and Ashe, you know, with the Mercy pocket, those two are like almost the same.
Yeah.
So I think it's great. I think this May pick is very interesting because really, it's not really a rush combo. But oh no, Nacho just gets crunched down by the monkey, and right now it's gonna be Ohio State just trying to close this one out right now, trying to find an extra pick, and they will find that extra pick right there. But so Cincinnati, they're gonna have to reset here. Or can they? Are they looking for more? No. Oh no! It's gonna be Performance who's gonna fall down. So now Ohio State, they were on the front foot. Now they're gonna have to back up. They are on the back foot now with a male to boot. But Lava, he's going to be frozen out even though he got a pick. And Ohio State, they're just going to be able to try and survive this. And so far, it looks like they're going to be able to. Picks going back and forth between these two teams right now. It could be either team's way, but Ohio State do have the spawn advantage, and they get that last pick to really seal it off.
They're very comfortable on this point, it looks like. It looks like they've practiced this quite a bit. And I do like the Sojourn pick on the side of the University of Cincinnati. We actually played Sojourn on this map as well. There's a lot of ground to cover, and I think that Sojourn's very capable of covering that ground, both horizontally and vertically. It gives her a lot of advantage here, where Soldier may necessarily have to run up staircases.
Oh, and Sojourn, it nearly fell down. The pulse bomb comes out, and oh, it's going to find Reginald. So Ohio State already up 1 right now. The Sombra looking to lurk for more in the backline right now, but so far Cincinnati, they're just going to be able to sustain this attack from Ohio State. They're keeping them, Ohio State keeping them boxed into this room, saying, no, you will not be leaving here. You will not be getting off the payload right now, as they continue to pile on. Oh, a big anti into the back line. Are anyone going to be able to pick up on these kills? Lava, he's going to be able to find Reginald. Reginald wasn't even anti, he just went in to try and save the rest of his team, but you know, he saved, you know, I guess he was able to save them, sacrificed himself to save them.
Yeah, it definitely worked out in favor of Ohio State for that period of time. Now that there's a regroup, you know, you've got to do what you can to kind of get recovered. And there's a lot of, I gotta say, it may not be related to this fight, but there's a lot of pinging going on. And that ping system is almost a new Sombra ability, realistically.
I mean, it really is. And the overclock is going to be popped, but the Winston Primal Rage pushes him away. Lava's going to have to trade his life for it, though. Chu is dead, so that means no Mail can be able to be triggered in this fight. And the beats are going to come out from both sides now to be able to try and sustain both of these teams. Both have lost members of the team, but right now it looks like Cincinnati, they have the more players, and they're going to be able to cap second point here. Oh no, they're going to get a last second contest here. Primal Winston coming into the backline, and EMP as well. It's so big right there. Ohio State, they're trying to get the rest of the picks here. They want to just be able to say, hey, we want to get on the attacking side now. They don't want to play defense anymore, but Cincinnati, they're just trying to get this second point at the very minimum right now.
They're just trying to stay alive. It's really the game is staying alive. And unfortunately, the Monkey's not able to. Overtime runs out, and they do not get that second point, but they are so close to it.
I mean, that really was so close. I mean, I was just saying, I was like, oh, well, yeah, it looks like Cincinnati are going to be able to cap the second point here.
Yeah.
But no, last second contest. Great Nano Winston there, and EMP as well to boot. I mean, that just... Winston, all he has to do, just look around, spin his mouse around, and people are just going to die.
You were committed, though. You were fully committed. You're like, they've got it. They're going in. Which we call the caster's curse.
That's true. That is very true.
We try not to commit, because once we commit, we know that we're going to blow it for them.
That's very true. But, I mean, I think both these sides, they played dive pretty well for, you know, we expected dive, and we got very high-quality dive from both of these teams. Interesting, the DPS line has been shifting around a lot here. Cincinnati, right now, looks like Sojourn.
I see a Torbjorn. Torbjorn? Uncle Torbjorn? Is that you?
I mean, maybe he can get a kill with his, you know, better hammer, you know?
I have heard multiple people say that there's some pretty crazy Torb turret spots on this map. So maybe they're going to commit to... I don't know about that one, but I'm not opposed to it.
I mean, yeah, I think the Torb is a good pick, actually, because, you know, Torb does pretty good against a dive comp, so it'll be able to, you know, help keep in check, you know, the Tracers and the Sombras who are just going in the back. And, I mean, you look at Ohio State's lineup, who can really shoot that turret other than the Ana? But the Ana's going to have to put herself out in the open, so it'll be interesting to see, you know, Ohio State, are they going to make any changes, or are they going to be able to just, you know, power right through this Cincinnati defense? Right now, we're going to look to see Ohio State. They're just going to look to head underneath right now and maybe set up for a dive. We see, you know, Sock just looking for a hack anywhere, just scouting out the team. He's saying, hey, look over here, look over here. We got someone right here.
And it's not a monkey. It's Diva this time, which is going to be a different type of gameplay for them. They're going to not necessarily be able to sit on those balconies the way that they want to. Or the BSU Scarlet, or the OSU, excuse me, Scarlet team is going to try to push them down as much as they can on that monkey. They slide away. Sojourn with that really fast ability that's really beneficial in this map, and they're just kind of able to maintain the defense that they had before.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good job there. I mean, that's why Sojourn is so good. It's so hard to dive a Sojourn, and, you know, you put out so much damage. You know, that's why you also have the Mercy pocket as well. I mean, when Mercy's just pocketing, you know, Sojourn, pocketing one person, Monkey can't really do too much. As performance, going to swap for the Ash here. We kind of expected this a little bit since, you know, that Torb turret who was going to shoot it. It looked like it was going to have to be Diana, but now we have Ash on, and the hack comes into the back. Is Lava not going to be able to get that pick, though, unfortunately.
Teleport.
Yeah, that was a great job there, and the teleport probably just came right off cooldown as well. Lava going to look to dive as well. He's just towing the point right now, but performance is going to fall for it. Lava just sitting around taking damage from all kinds of different angles.
I'm so curious as to why Winston decided to jump that far forward and commit to it so hard. He stayed up there on that point for about 5-10 seconds, and that gave University of Cincinnati a lot of time to play with that backline if they wanted to. They didn't go too aggressively, but they went aggressively enough that it wasted a lot more time than it would have if they just pulled out. Yeah,
I mean, like 2 minutes, you burn half your clocks right now. No real ults have come up really on either side. Well, as I say that, Kiriko ult is just popped right now. The Sojourn is so low, and the Sojourn is going to fall. There's a great anti coming in from Nanny. And Lava on the point right now. He is nano boosted. Going to try and prevent the res from happening. And I think that is exactly what is going to happen. Oh, the Diva just going to be able to stay in neck. That's so big. And look, exactly this. Who's shooting? Who has to shoot?
Somebody has to shoot it.
Yeah, exactly. But that did such a great job. That probably burned out a little bit of time for Cincinnati to be able to contest this point as they are right now. Performer's able to get the pick though immediately. Lava's able to follow up with a second one as well. Already up 2 to start this fight. Bob is going to be thrown into the back right now. EMP comes out, but it seems like it's not going to find too many people other than the Mercy. And so right now it is an even fight. The Bob's still on the field, and oh no, Ando.
Bob decides to play with Diva's mech and absolutely take her down, and unfortunately she's got to use her ult in order to stay up, just to hold that point as long as she can, wait for her team to get back if they can. She had mostly a dive team, they should be able to get back, but she just dies too quickly. Sombra takes her out, Monkey takes her out, and Monkey has to deal with that turret once more. But they do manage to get that payload, and now all they have to do is push it just barely slight of the second point.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great fight there. It was a good job there from the Ohio State. They were able to just toe the point there, and I mean, yeah, that torp turret was there, just doing damage, and probably it didn't allow Ohio State to get as aggressive as maybe they would like to, but they did enough to be able to stall out, and guess what? Reinforcements arrived, and that's exactly what carried them over this finish line. As
unfortunately, they committed to a lot. They committed to a lot there. They used all of their ults if they could. The only person even remotely close to an ult right now is Kitty Go. And Ohio State, they have 3, and they're going to be using those as aggressively as they want to. Anna putting the nano out on the Monkey, who's being very, very patient with his Primal Rage.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like, I believe Lava, he had a great Primal Rage earlier, so, I think he's definitely being patient with it. But he doesn't even need to be patient with it. The rest of his team are just going to be able to kill everyone else in the backline right now. And the poor Baby Diva, well, it's a payload map, so there will be no stagger. But, yeah, and look, they still have plenty of ults to go through. Nearly at another Bob. They swapped over to the Hanzo, and they're nearly at a Dragon. And they have that Primal Rage that Lava has held onto for so long. All that's left is the Kiriko ult. The Kiriko ult is going to be popped here. FaZe. Oh no, he's left as the Bastion. He won't be able to do anything for the next couple of seconds right now. Antied in the backline as well. And here comes Lava. He's got the Primal Rage. He's going to pop it right now. And oh, Kiriko.
They are not dealing with the Bastion today. Absolutely not. They tried to defend it on the University of Cincinnati side. Get that out of there. But Monkey said, I'm not dealing with it. Simply not. And Lava is doing so much work right now. They got 2, they got 3. This Ashe is going to take it around.
Oh no, the Mercy just flew right into the Ashe's sidelines right there. And it just unfortunately falls there as Cincinnati.
Wow.
Their Cinderella story unfortunately will come to an end, but a great job from Ohio State. Big brother. There's a reason why he is the big brother.
Yeah, well, you learn from your big brother, and you grow. And hopefully this is a game that UC comes out of, and I think there are definitely some things to kind of see here. There are definitely some choices. They kept swapping, and Ohio State felt so confident. Even necessarily if the fight wasn't going their way, they stuck with what they knew, and they stuck with the ults that they've already built, because they kept them. University of Cincinnati, realistically, at the end there, that was a game of ults, and they just didn't have the ults. OSU had them, and they were able to perform on them and use that momentum to carry them to that really swift victory.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I believe, like University of Cincinnati, that mouthful.
It is a mouthful. It's all German.
Yeah, that's true. They've been around. They've been in the Overwatch scene for quite a bit. And I feel like they've been a fairly decent, consistent performer. So it's cool to see them, come out here and as a 15 seed, make this deep run. And I think even though this was a 2-0, this was a fairly close 2-0. Ohio State, at times, other than I'd say first point of Antarctica, really that could have gone either way from both teams. There were so many fights that were just up in the air, 50-50. But yeah, it's a great job from Ohio State. Congratulations to them. They'll be moving on to the next round.
Yeah, and to the University of Cincinnati, we say thank you for coming out and thank you for the amazing games. We love to cast, we love to spectate, and we are excited to see what is coming up moving forward.
Yep, again, I believe your team, University of Miami, Ohio, they will take on Converse tomorrow morning,
Correct.
And winner of that will head to the semifinals to take on Maryville. Lower bracket final, our game just finished up here. University of Cincinnati losing to Ohio State, so they will play, I believe, they'll play probably the loser of...
the Miami Converse game?
Yes, I believe so.
I think so.
Yeah, and of course... that's going to be a wrap here for this show here. It's been fantastic. It's been great casting with you.
It's been great casting. It was like really easy. Like, is that weird to say? Like, it was actually really easy. Typically, I have like stutter issues with like somebody else like kind of talking. It was really smooth. So thank you for working with me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, thank you as well. You know, this has been a fantastic day of Overwatch, really. You know, so many great games, so many close games as well. You know, if you didn't see any of the earlier games, definitely check those VODs. I did 2 USF games here. They both went map 3, so
We take those.
So they're exciting games. You know, I hate to be a little biased, but you know, they were close games, so it's something.
My plan is to go practice my Zenyatta. I'm inspired.
Oh yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think I want to hit. I think I want to hit the monkey. I think I want to use
You
those
wanna hit the
primal
monkey?
rages. You know, those.
You're on. But alrighty, we're gonna take ourselves out to the next break. We want to thank you so much. My name is Jennifer Fancy Tuna Frank,
I'm Hui Pham.
and you guys have a great evening. Oh.